going to basically like talk through why I say no to someone on Hinge. I got the idea because I was watching My Fault London version for like the third time on my phone as I was eating lunch just now. And if you don't know what that is, maybe you should keep not knowing what that is. But if you do know what that is, and you've seen the original version a couple of times too, then we're the same type of weird. But I was in the middle of like watching it for like the third time. And I was like, you know what, Michelle? If you want some love, go after that instead of just watching, you know, teenagers make out, I guess. So I was like, okay, we're gonna open Hinge, we're gonna get some matches, and we're gonna go on some dates. And then I realized like why the hell this isn't working. It's like not just like an on me thing. I can do the best that I possibly can, but I can't match with people that are ridiculous. So I wanted to kind of like, this isn't like a tutorial about how to do like Hinge, but like I want to kind of talk through from my own perspective why I would not say yes, or why I would say yes to a specific Hinge profile as we go through. I'm not going to show you what they look like because I feel like that's rude, and I'm going to be as like general as possible just in case, but like they'll never know. But like, I don't know, I feel like their privacy is important even though this is public stuff. So I want to kind of like go through. And I feel like so many guys just like don't understand the psychology of a woman. And like, I feel like we're gonna get that through this. So I feel like this could be fun. And maybe this is like a subconscious way of like seeing as I watch the footage back, like, Michelle, you're super freaking picky. No wonder you're single. Or like, yeah, I can kind of agree like later on. So it's kind of like a little like reality check for me. But I sort of kind of think before I do this that I have like a decent balance of like, I'm looking for the gems. I am picky, okay? Like there's certain things that like visually I like. And unfortunately, as I get older and other people get older, they kind of don't fall into those lines of like physical attributes. A lot of dudes have beards that are like kind of like my age. They're not as clean shaven as they were when they were younger, so that kind of like eliminates a lot of people. I'll try to look past that and just like pretend that they don't have a beard as I'm scrolling through, so I can kind of hit the different points, because I'd be like saying no forever. But beyond those kinds of things, I think they're universal, like, okay, this person put effort in versus like they didn't. And the reason why this matters is because this is a form of like how people meet people nowadays. I was talking with the only dude that I know here, and so we talk every now and then about like how everything is going and blah blah blah. And he was talking to me about how he met his current girlfriend. And I asked him, oh, did you match on like online? And he's like, yeah, because like I don't want to be a creep. And like I listened to him because I'd seen this kind of like argument on Reddit about why people do not approach people in public anymore. And I thought this was kind of interesting to see it like pop up in like real time, not just like in the Reddit world. So in his experience, he gets like anxiety about like having people think he's a creep if he approaches them in like person. Like, you don't know if the girl is single, you don't know if they think that you're attractive. At least online you can kind of like, you know, mutually match, and that's kind of taken care of, right? A little bit. It's not like a guessing game on those basic levels. Like, you're probably going to be single, or at least you're looking. Like in person, like you kind of have to, you could offend somebody or like, you know, get yourself in real trouble if like her boyfriend's like around the corner and you're like trying to like buy her a drink, right? Like it's kind of weird. So I understand that part, but he's like, in this day and age when people go viral, like there could be like her friend like filming like my approach to her at the bar and her rejecting me, and then like it's really embarrassing for me, and then it goes viral because, you know, things go viral, especially relatable stuff like that, and you could be the dude in the meme that's like, you were rejected for all time. That can kill your dating. And I never even thought of it like that. I was like, oh my god, like there's so many reasons why doing it online is stupid, but there's like there's compelling reasons why people are uncomfortable to even approach. And I've seen this one other time before where like another guy on, I think Tinder, he told me, he's like, I would never approach a woman at a bar. I was like, what do you mean? Like, if she's clearly like single, she's been there all night and she's like looking to talk, like isn't that mean like she's not really open for business, but she's kind of open for business, you know? Like she's going there, she's putting herself out. It's like, I want to be talked to. And he's like, the signals are like, can easily be mixed, and like they don't want to look like creeps. So say what you want to say about online, but there's like a reason why you should get with the program. If like just creating a profile is not the way, like that's not it's not your best move if you're actually trying to like get a girlfriend. And I'm going to like talk about my first instinctual process of how I would like look at, from my own perspective, how I would look at a person's profile. And this could be maybe different than how you Hinge or whatever, and maybe this can be fun, and maybe this can be like, dude, you have to put a little bit more effort. I'm pretty sure that women put more effort into the profiles than men, and I would like it for men to like step up. But I do understand that like some women just rest on their pretty, and they like have like zero conversation skills when the guy messages them their opener or whatever. And like guys don't like that. Guys don't like single word responses back to like their forced opener, because they don't want to be they want effort, right? Like you can't just rest on pretty. So like I see it both ways, but I feel like you're between a rock and a hard place with like putting yourself out there online. You're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't, but like I think it's like a necessary evil. So like let's just talk about it. So first we have dude with a close-up shot of the corner of his face. It's just basically his head. And I'm just like, I can't take that person seriously. You don't know how to like crop in your whole body. Like I do know that when you first upload pictures to Hinge, it like zooms it in. So sometimes you have to like actually edit your photos before you upload them so they can be longer. Like, haven't you ever heard of like a photo editing app? Like I feel like that's standard practice. Maybe not, because I do see often close-up shots of just their face. Also, like, in what world do you think this is going to excite me? It's just a close-up of your face and I see the rest of like the golf green. Like, what are you trying to convey here? That you golf? Like, that's nice. But like, I see your straight teeth and I see that you wear sunglasses, which is another thing that I hate. It's like, if you wear sunglasses the entire time, I can be fooled. And if you wear a hat the entire time, I can be fooled that you don't have any hair. Some people like that, some people don't. I feel like in order to get to like the date confidently, you shouldn't hide whatever is happening. You should just kind of like own it in your profile. Obviously, like try to like look nicer than like the worst version of yourself, right? But like this is like very low effort and I don't understand what you're trying to convey. So let's go through the prompts. This is where like you can actually show your personality, right? Like this is where you can show you're boring as well. And this is how I eliminate a lot of people, because I'm just like, you don't get the assignment. You don't get the assignment. You're not gonna get the subtle assignment that I'm giving you like throughout life here. So his typical Sunday is yoga, work, park, or play music. It changes all the time. I love this answer. I would never think that this dude with like a cropped face and like golf in the background does yoga. So I like that juxtaposition of, I would just think that he's like a beer bro, right? Like, and he does yoga, that's cool. And I like that it changes all the time. Somebody who's like gym tan laundry, like you're stuck in like, it's not cool anymore. I'm sorry, it's just not. So if you're saying it ironically because it's funny, good. But like there's a lot of people that say like church tan laundry, like here. So anyways, that I think was a good thing. So he's back in the races. I kind of don't really care about his like height, but as long as he's like taller than me, like I'm 5'6", so I feel like a lot of people can fit into that range. So I'm not super picky. You don't have to be like 6'2" in order to like get my like approval or like get me to keep scrolling. So I feel like I'm reasonable versus some women on that, but like please at least be my height or taller. The only reason I think that that is a thing for me is because when I actually kiss somebody who is the same height as me, because of the way that our like mouths like hit and our chins, when I kiss somebody who's the same height as me, my chin rubs against their chin and I get like red on my face. I get like it's like almost like rug burn or something. It hurts so bad and I like to kiss a lot. So if they're taller, then they come at my mouth I don't know how to like describe this any other way. They like come at my like mouth at a different angle and like their chin doesn't rest on my chin. It's different. It's like coming differently. I don't know. I feel like this is awkward, but it's like the truth. And so I feel like there's a reason why I want you to be a little bit taller. It's just more pleasurable to like kiss you. Like, and I like to kiss. So that's that. I look for if they went to college, and I look for if they take like the filling out of the thing like seriously, and this guy does. He has a picture. His next picture is just weird. His picture is like a close-up shot of a sunset from the rear view mirror of his car, and it's like, what are you trying to show me? That you like are a scary driver, right? Because I'm pretty sure it's on the driver's side, not the left, like the right side. And like you can't even brag like which kind of car you have to show me that you have money. Like it's, you can't even see what kind of car he has. So it's just a zoomed in shot of like the 2-lane highway with like a sunset in the back, and it's, you just see the rearview mirror. Like weird. It gets worse. There is the next picture is a squirrel, a gray squirrel, zoomed in gray squirrel sitting on top of a black trash can next to a blue recycling bin, and the squirrel is eating some piece of trash. And that's his picture. There's no prompts that explain the weirdness of this, and so I'm like, okay, like you're going downhill, buddy. And then he says, there's another prompt, my simple pleasures, good pizza. Do you know how many other people love pizza? Like, don't fill in these stupid things. This says nothing about you. I feel like picking the squirrel sunset says a little bit more weird stuff about you than the good pizza. Like, that's not, I'm sorry, that's not good. And I can tell that this person's not a robot. This person's like a real person. I can understand this sort of weirdness and like the not really greatly filled outness of this if the person just did this because they were a robot. They just like put in stuff that didn't really make any sense. So anyways, then the next picture is a zoomed in embroidered patch on what looks like a sweatshirt or a piece of clothing, and it's a round embroidered state patch, and it's not even complete. It's like partially out of the frame. And why did you do that? Here's the next thing. This year I really want to go skydive again. Why is that like a huge thing? Why is that like skydiving and like taking pictures of sloths and then showing me your upper thigh? Like, I've never seen so many sloths or upper thighs or people skydiving as I have the last couple of years on, you know, swiping through this. Like, why, how is that a real thing? Like, I do live in my bubble, but like, how is this a real thing that people do? I feel like skydiving used to be so like, it was like an exceptional thing that you worked up to because like, I don't know, you were a real daredevil or something. And now like the average Joe can just go skydiving. Same person that does squirrel pictures goes skydiving. So, okay. Now, the next picture is from like at least 2004 and older. And it's a picture of a 2004 picture. So that's a thing in itself. But like also, I can't really tell, besides scrolling up to his first picture where he had sunglasses on that I can't tell what he looks like, who he is in this picture, because there's 3 of them. And it's like rule number 1, if you're gonna put a picture next to you of another person, you kind of want to be better looking than the other person, right? Like, I'm not gonna match with you because I think your friends are hot. Like, I don't know. I feel like I want to match with you because you're the better looking out of all the group of people that you hang out with. But sort of kind of think his friend is more hot. Bad move on your part. The last thing on his profile is a video, and it looks like the video of a skyline of a city. And I think that's sort of cool. Like, it's not really like very telling of like anything about him. It says that you can afford a plane ticket and you got a window seat, which I can get behind, but like also that you might like travel, but like who doesn't like travel? So I don't know. I feel like this is interesting, but it's also not. I feel like overall, I would rate his profile like a solid D+. So I'm gonna say no. Sorry, dude. Next one. This person fully accepts the fact that he is bald. And he does not have hats throughout the entire profile. He shows it right in the first picture. So I have respect for him, but also, I'm not really interested in him visually, but let's just like go through. So he's 5'8", and there are some things that I do not like as far as his job. And like, that's not really his fault. And I'm not really compatible with as far as like his religion, and that's not really his fault either. So let's just go through. I already know that I'm gonna say no, but like what other things can I say that are like things that he did good on his profile? So he says, I'm looking for, and I feel like there's a ton of different prompts that are stupid, right? They're all dumb. Everybody hates them, but there's ones that you can like pick that it makes more sense to pick. So for me, when I'm looking at a profile, I want to see that you have self-awareness that I am looking at your profile. You're not making your profile for other dudes. You're making your profile for women, and you have to attract women. So you have to appeal to their sense of, not humor, but like you have to appeal to whomever you're trying to like get. And so he says, I'm looking for. And so as I'm reading that, I can see if I fit those things. And if I don't, I can kind of eliminate myself, right? So I feel like that's smart. That's a smart prompt. I'm looking for. And if he says several things. So he does. He says smart, funny, honest, kind, and open. Like, who doesn't want those things? That doesn't really say too much. Nobody's going to be, I want a dumbass. I want somebody who never laughs. I want somebody who lies to me all the time, who's super mean and is like really close-minded. Like, no one's gonna say that. So this basically says nothing, but it does kind of prompt me to be like, am I what he's looking for? So I felt like that was good, but it also says nothing. So let's see. I pay attention to what they're looking for in like the relationship type that he's looking for. He has monogamy, which is important because sometimes you can see the perfect profile and you're about to click yes, and it says like he's in like a polyamorous relationship and that's not for you, right? Like you just know that that's not a thing. So he has monogamy, and he has not looking for a one-night stand. An ongoing friends with benefits would be ideal. So he wants a little bit more than casual, but he's not fully ready to like be like, I want a wife, right? Like some people are really like that. So you can kind of see what he's like into. So okay, let's scroll down. He's got several pictures now. The third picture that I'm seeing, he's got several pictures where it's just him laying down on his bed. Literally all these pictures are this, laying down on his bed. To his credit, at least he's changed the background of his bed. Like there's different throws behind him. Like on the first one, there's like a black and white flannel one. that's checkered. And the next one is a close-up of his head again. Same smile, same angle, and he looks pleasant enough. He doesn't look like a killer or anything. He looks approachable and normal, but it's like, dude, you gotta like vary more than just the background. So like something else that I'm picking up is that his background is like very plain. It's always gray. His like sheets are always gray. What he's wearing is always gray, white, or black. And I'm like, okay. I usually do that too, like wear just like the boring stuff, but I'm like kind of seeing like he's got all kind of boring stuff in the back there. You don't need to have like the best flair or best like organization of your style, but like if you're gonna take a picture, at least have something like visually stimulating so I can get drawn to you to like look at the deeper details, because like this usually happens over the course of like seconds. I don't usually dive this deep into like why or why not I would match with this person. So visually the colors behind this are not grabbing me to like look. So it's got gray and it's just blah, and it's the same angle, close up, and it's on his bed. He's just like taking a picture of himself from above on his bed with his bald head and beard, which is fine, but like that doesn't, that's not how you hack Hinge. That's not how you get matches. All right, his next prompt. Let's make sure we're on the same page about, which I find is good. You can see a similarity between the types of prompts that he has. I feel like he really knows what he's looking for, and he's trying to convey that to whomever is looking at his profile. And he says, let's make sure we're on the same page about, and he says, what we're both looking for. I know mine might be unconventional. I don't think a friends with benefits is very unconventional. It may be a tiny bit weird on Hinge, but like it's not weird. I think that you should be open about what it is that you will or will not give somebody. And if somebody is looking for their next stage of life and are ready for a long-term commitment, and you just want a friends with benefits, I feel like you should say that if you're comfortable saying that. So I don't think it's unconventional. I'm getting lost in the weeds of that, but like I feel like he's at least honest. I like that. But I am a good guy with a big heart. I'm looking to get to know you as a person and not just a one and done type situation. I feel like that didn't need to be said because his little monogamy thing, his little blurb by the monogamy thing kind of said that. But maybe people are just like literally not reading, and this is a bigger part of the profile where people could find out this information. So I feel like it's a little redundant, but maybe he's just like matched with so many people that like don't read, and he wants to like, this is what I'm looking for. So yeah. Next is a crooked picture where he is mostly in the shot and he's wearing some sunglasses, which you know my opinion about the sunglasses thing in a profile, especially if it's your first picture. This is his third picture, so it's like, okay, whatever. He hasn't shown a picture of his full body yet, which is, I don't know, really, like, it's up to you whether or not that's important to you. It's important to me because sometimes I've seen people's like close-up shots of them and I'm just like, oh, I don't know about this, and then I see them from far away and I'm like, oh, okay, like I can kind of get their vibe, like the way that they dress, the way they hold themselves, the way that they are in relation to like the rest of their bodies is in proportion, except instead of this very zoomed in, weirdly cropped picture, right? Like, you don't have to take a picture and then like scratch out the person next to you. Like, I just don't know if I love that. Like, that's what he did in this picture. And I'm just like, I feel like that's a little trashy. Like, just get more pictures. Like, this isn't even a good one. I could like see if this was like his best picture of his profile and he took the time to scratch out the next person next to him. I could understand that, and I could see that as a justification for picking this particular picture. There's no justification for this. So this is not even his best picture, and he's scratched out somebody, and it's like you're just trying to fill the picture spots. It's like, maybe you should like take a little bit more time to like diversify your profile. Obviously, like all I've seen him do is lay in his bed and then lean crookedly outside of a pool, it looks like. So that doesn't really tell me too much about what's going on. Like, who are you? Who are you, buddy? Okay, so you should not go out with me. So again, this is the third time on his profile. He's tried to make it very clear who he appeals to and what he's looking for. So I do think that this guy really knows what he wants, which is, it's good. There's some people that are like clearly like lost and they have no idea what they're doing on here. So this guy does, and he says, you should not go out with me if physical touch is not your thing. I kind of don't understand that because I feel like physical touch is everybody's thing. Like, I can see like a few instances where it wouldn't be somebody's thing, but I feel like that for the majority of people, I feel like that, is this his way of saying like, I want to have a lot of sex? That's different than I don't like physical touch. So he says, well, I do it respectfully. That is my biggest love language. And I just see that a lot on these apps. Physical touch, physical touch. But like, what does that mean to you? Like, are you somebody who needs a lot of sex? Is that why you're saying this? Is this like, what do you mean by, well, I do it respectfully? Like, of course you do it respectfully. Like, why wouldn't it be respectfully? Right? Like, that's a weird thing to add, in my opinion. Right? Like, just because you want it, I don't know. This one kind of like throws me off a little bit. So he says, that is my biggest love language and enjoy showing my affection as often as I can. Well, it's like, that's great that that's like your love language, but like, I think he's trying to make sure that it's also somebody's like reciprocal love language. They like to be touched that often. They like to be shown that way. So like, obviously if like you're not into like PDA, or if you're not into, you know, having a lot of sex all the time with this person, like, don't match with him. I feel like that's what he's saying. But I feel like even if this is your love language, you should understand that it has to be received well. Just because you want to touch them doesn't mean that you should, right? It's like, I don't know. I feel like I don't have to explain that really, but like maybe it should be explained. So the next picture is bad. It's good because I can see he's outside. He's not on his bed. He's not by the pool. And he's like, the majority of the picture is just taken up by his head. This picture is like outside and he's got like a little kid on his back. And this signifies that he's probably a dad. And this signifies that he's like probably good with children because he's smiling, right? Like, he looks like a happy kind of person. Or he's a parent, or he's an uncle, or I don't know how else you would have like a child on your back, but he has scratched out in black the child's face. And I feel like that's not as bad as the scratch out before, but it's still, I don't know if I love that. There's a way to say in your profile that you have children without putting your children in the picture. Like, you can like say that you have children, but for people who don't read, maybe you need to see a picture. And this one does have a little bit of his body, so you can see that he's relatively fit. So if he's like your type, you can see a little bit more. But I don't love the trashiness of like how the picture looks. And like, I can read. I can read that you had children before, so I don't need this picture. But if he thinks that he looks good in this picture, then okay. But like, it's trashy to me by like the scribble out, like the harsh line black scribble out of the child's face. And all I can see is like the hands. So anyways, I think that can be done better, but I personally do not put any pictures in my profile of people with me. Some people have commented that like, that's weird. They're like, where are your friends? And I'm like, well, my friends don't belong in my profile. you're trying to match with me, not my friends. And I did have one time where I did have somebody, this was so stupid. I matched with this person on Tinder of all places, and they didn't talk to me for a good 2-3 months. I'm not even joking or exaggerating. 2-3 months, they came back to me. Their opener to me was, hey, you know that brown-haired girl in the picture, like the first or second picture on your profile? I think she's hot. What's her name? What's her number? It's like, you matched with me. It's like, that's so insulting, but like, don't give people the opportunity, right? Like, so it's different if like their face is scratched out, like I get that, but I just don't know how I feel about that. Okay, my second least favorite picture is like how he ends his profile. He ends his profile, he's a nice smile. He looks like a presentable, kind of happy dude. That's not the problem. The problem is I'm not attracted to him, so like it's always going to be a no, and like the rest of it didn't work for me for various different reasons. But the problem with this ending picture is that it's in your car. You're sitting in your car, and I understand that like it's very tempting to take a picture in your car. There's so many dudes with like front seat driving side pictures because the lighting is usually great. The lighting's usually great, and if you're like on the go and you're like, I just need another picture for my profile, dudes don't usually take like so many different selfies of them doing a variety of different things. So like I get it, but also like elevate your game, man. Like this shows me nothing. Like I'm going to be looking in your car for like clues. Like, are your seats leather? Are your seats clean? And I'd rather not try to creep your car because I'm bored of like seeing the 2000th picture of a car person in somebody's profile. Like you even get down to like, I try to like look at what else they did in this picture. Right now I can see, because I just looked down again, I can see that he's wearing his sunglasses and he's got a reflection in the sunglasses, and I'm trying to figure out what else I can see through his sunglasses. And I'm trying to see like, he's doing this as he's driving. Like I could see that in his sunglasses. He's not parked. This is, I think, the second person that's done something kind of like weird in the car as they're like driving. No wonder my state has like all these accidents. Like seriously, like the people drive insanely bad here. There's always head-on collisions. Maybe these are these people. So I could see that he's doing that. He's got his like little emblem on his shirt, probably for his job, scratched out, and he's like trying to do it for like privacy reasons. Hint to you, don't do this. I don't like that he's wearing sunglasses and it's just like this part of his face. This shows me nothing if I'm attracted to you. So he's got 2 out of the 5 pictures, same exact portions of his body shown, and 2 out of the 5 are with sunglasses. He's always smiling the same way, and he's not really doing too much. Like, I can't tell what kind of person you are. I can tell you're kind of like a reckless driver, and I can tell that you have a child, and I can tell that you like to scratch people out rather than take pictures of yourself by, you know, yourself from interesting stuff. So, I'm sorry, dude. You're not the one. Okay, next one. We've got a dude smoking a cigar. Interesting. I've just like scrolled a little bit through his, I've never seen these people obviously before, so I don't have any like preconceived notions about, you know, what they do not or do have. But I'm trying to be like honest, and I don't know if I like this person. So, based upon what they've said. So, we've got this next person. He looks, I'm gonna scroll down. Okay, so he's about my age, but he kind of like looks a little bit older, but he's sophisticated. He's sitting at a table with a linen cloth, so like a tablecloth, and it looks like a nicer restaurant. And he's sitting at what looks like outside. in like this bistro kind of restaurant, and it's not a robot. I could tell that, because like he's not, I'm just gonna put it bluntly, he's not good enough to be a fake profile. Like he's not good enough looking to be a fake profile. People who are like fake profiles are not stupid. They're not gonna pick people who are like subpar unattractive. They're going to pick people that are very attractive. So he looks average, in my opinion. He doesn't look terrible, but he looks average, and so he's not a fake profile. The reason I say that is because a lot of the time the fake profiles have like European vibes, and so when I was like looking at his bistro setting for like his main opening picture, I was like, oh, that reminds me of that. So he's drinking some wine, and the wine glass is like one of those that's like at like a nicer restaurant where they like don't have super tacky glassware. It looks like nice and like tapered and like thin walled and like delicate. So that's the vibe. So we're getting elegant vibe, upper class. He's wearing a suit jacket, no tie, so it's like relaxed. He looks pretty relaxed, and he's holding a big cigar. And I don't love somebody who like smokes a cigar, because I want your mouth to taste nice, but like do what you want. So that's not a hell no for me. That's just like, okay. So let's scroll over. He's 6'2". He's older than me by 1 year, but he looks a little bit older than me. He says he wants children, and that might be a little bit tough for me since I'm 40. So sorry, you might want to match with somebody who's much younger, and so maybe that's kind of like the thing that he's going for. So we'll see. His religion is not compatible with me, and that happens a lot where I live, so that's not really surprising, but this happens. Okay, so now I can see more of his face, and his second picture is a zoom in of his upper body, and he's got glasses on and sunglasses on, and I can't really see most of his face, but I can see that he looks younger in this picture than the first picture, where I can only see the side of his face. So it was like, are you older or are you not? So he's got different hair, so I wonder if this is just like an older picture, because he looks definitely like 10 years difference between this one and the other one. So interesting. So let's see what the rest of the profile kind of says. If he looks similar to the second picture, the rest of this profile, maybe the older first picture is like a one-off and it was like kind of like a mistake, but he looks kind of like younger in this one, in the third picture. So in the third picture, he's done it kind of like similar to the other guys, except for he's done the whole blocking out of the person next to him in kind of a classier way, but it's still kind of not great. He does have varied backgrounds in all of his pictures, and he does like show his personality. He dresses nice, he dresses different in each picture, but it's still like preppy, kind of classy, clean. Think like banker, almost retired golfer kind of person that goes on sailboats, that kind of thing. And he drinks wine a lot. So like that's his vibe, and so I'm getting kind of like his vibe. Like I'm understanding a little bit more about him. I've seen 3 pictures, right? So it's better than the stuff that I've seen prior to the other 2 profiles, because I couldn't tell anything about them. Do they eat Doritos, or do they eat like, you know, gourmet food that they make and they're really proud of it? Like, I don't know. I want to see a little bit of your stuff. Besides, I'm so bored with your picture that I'm like looking in the background for clues, right? Like that's not a good thing if I get kind of bored. So the third picture is of facing us, and it's him. I can see his full face, and he looks very similar to how much younger he looked in the second picture. And he's smiling. He looks kind of like normal-ish, and like he looks like a normal dude. Got a full head of hair, normal dude. He's got like a 5 o'clock shadow situation going on. He's not unattractive, but it's not like wowing me. But I kind of sort of a little bit like his classy vibe. So it's not a full no yet, we're gonna like investigate a little bit more if I would be like fully good for him. So in this third picture, I just spotted the wine and I spotted the cigar again. So this is kind of like his vibe, because it's clearly 2 different times in his life, because he looks different in both, and he's in 2 different places. One looks like in the summertime and one looks like in the wintertime. So this is like a thing that he does. But the faux pas in this one is that he is standing next to this woman. And the thing about like pictures of the dude next to the woman, no matter what is happening, I always kind of think like, is this the person that he like looks like he's like really next to them? Like sometimes when they're by their mother or by their sister, like they'll say, that's my mom or that's my sister. And so you don't get like the subconscious clues that like this is the woman that he's attracted to, and you can judge whether or not you're more attractive or less attractive to, or equal attractiveness basically, than that person. You should signify to people that you're single, not that like you want to see if this is their previous wife, you want to see if this is their current girlfriend that they're just scratching out, right? Is this like, are you polyamorous and this is who you're partnered with? Like, I don't want to try to figure out who this was. And so because I have clues about, you know, his standing, not like he would stand next to his sister. It looks like they were dating because of the way that they're standing next to each other and the way that he's like casually like putting his cigar hand around her shoulder and she's leaning towards him like they were together at one point. Like, I don't want to know like what kind of body type your previous person like had, like what kind of hair color this previous person had. Like, is this your type? Because like that's not what I look like, and like I could be eliminating myself because like I don't look like that person, right? So like I don't know if that's the best move. So he's blocked out the face with like a black box. At least it's not scribbled out. It's not as trashy as the one prior. And his picture is in front of some backyard trees that are really nice looking. And so like the color of the green trees, the leaves, like makes me look at his picture, but it also makes me look at the picture for a little bit longer in weird ways, because like I shouldn't be drawn to the woman's body and like how shapely she is. Like she's got like kind of like a fun dress on, and I'm just like, you know, I don't think that he would like me. The next one is, I knew it. I knew that he golfed. He looked like a golfer or a person that just did kind of like rich people things. So he's got, this is clearly a different time in his life because he's got like a full beard and a full like mustache situation and like chino shorts, a little golf glove with a golf club, and he's like looking very seriously down like the green. So like you're trying to show me that you golf, but like also I don't see a ton of your body. I just see the upper torso and like a tiny bit of his like shorts. So like if the purpose was to show that you golf, or the purpose was to show that you're relatively fit or something, like I would have rather seen like your whole body, or I would have rather seen, I don't know. Me as a girl, I don't care that you golf. Like I could see, like I'm not gonna bond with you over that. So like I don't understand that picture. So his next prompt, my most irrational fear is influencers in public. And I like this answer because I feel like he's got like the same sort of like sense of ick about certain things that I do. So I can relate to this one a lot. So if the rest of his profile was lining up, I think I would say yes to this prompt and write like some little story or whatever about how I relate to what he just said. But I'm not going to, because I feel like this is not the dude for me. So the next picture is of him looking rather chilled. I feel like the variety of pictures that he has is good. A lot of them are outside, and a lot of them have very good lighting, and a lot of them you can see how he's aged. There's clearly some difference in years between some of his pictures, because this one he's got just a full mustache and the rest is shaved. The prior one with the golf, he had a mustache and a full beard, and then the previous opening ones he just had 5 o'clock shadow. So he's got a variety of different appearances going on, which is good. And also it's good that he's like relaxed in most of these. He does have sunglasses on in this, so I can't really see like his eyes and his full face, but you can see his vibe. And again, his vibe is cigar in hand and a drink in the other. So this is the third picture out of like the 6 that you can have that he's had this duo. Okay, at different stages of his life, he does things consistently. This is what he likes, especially when he's relaxing. A lot of these pictures are like when he's just chilling, which makes sense. I think I get his vibe. I don't think I'm going to match with him, but I think I get his vibe. The last picture I feel is super cute. This is like, especially if you want children with this person, you get to see what he looked like when he was a child. So he has a picture of him maybe when he was like 5. Some people do it by like they are holding a baby, and that signifies to like the person scrolling through that they would be a good dad, right? They'll like say the child is not my baby, but I do want kids, right? Like people who don't want children are not going to have photos of them holding children in their profile. So I feel like that's the purpose of this, but I could be wrong. It could be just because he's trying to like show like a thing that he's cute. I'm not sure. I feel like out of all the 3 that I have reviewed today, gone through today, he was the best one. It was the most varied. It was the most elegant. He had the most effort, but he made the same kind of mistakes as the other one, where it's like, I don't think that you should put somebody else in your profile, especially if it was your previous girlfriend or wife, and just kind of like be lazy and kind of like block out their face. There's still a lot of context to get by having her there, and it's like the wrong context, I feel. Like if you're gonna be out on dating apps, you kind of want like a clean slate, and you want the person to like look at you as if they could be in your life, not like you are reminded that somebody else was there, right? I don't know, I feel like maybe that's just me, but that's how kind of like I think when I go through profiles. And I do this very quick, and it's just like whatever. So he had the most positives, I feel, towards like the attributes that I would be looking for, but they're still like not anywhere near a yes for me, because I don't think I'm really looking for that. So I will just continue on, but I just wanted to kind of make this video that I just thought of, and it was like kind of like fun for me to make, and it was like lighthearted, but it was also like, please do better with your profile. I really want to say yes to you, and then you make it hard by like doing these things. I think the worst one that we've discussed was like the one with the trash can squirrel. That was like a hell no. Something funny though, like I admittedly live in like a place that is bigger than where I originally came from, but it's not so big that like people get that they have to try. When I was in New York City, sorry, some ankles. When I was in New York City, almost everybody understood the assignment. Their profiles were bomb, even on Tinder. I was like, oh my God, should I just move here? I was saying yes to like almost every single profile. And like the people that I thought were like not as attractive, they just had funny things to like, for me to read. They knew that I was the reader or I was the viewer, not that they were the person filling it out. That's a different perspective. They understood their audience, and they understood if they weren't like that attractive that they had to do other things. So like they could still get dates. Like there's ways to go about like your disadvantages that you have. Maybe it's physically, or maybe you're just quiet and you're not good at like making a profile. Therefore you need to take better pictures of like how good you look. Like you need to win people over somehow. They're not gonna get your full vibe just from like, you know, thinking that you're a good, lovely person. Like, you need to put some effort in. You can't have a shitty profile with shitty pictures and like not be that good looking. I'm sorry, you just can't. That's not gonna get you anywhere, especially if you're a dude. And I mean that because like there's just not enough women to say on the apps to match with those dudes. There's more men than women. So that's what I mean by that's not likely to happen. It's like, help yourself. Help me, help you. I feel like I actually wrote that in my profile. I think on Tinder, help me, help you. Please give me something to work with. Let me know if you do any of the same things that I do while I flip through profiles. If you have different line of thinking, obviously probably you have different priorities than I do, but I think it's kind of like universal. Like, you want someone that doesn't look like a serial killer. You want someone who like is relatively attractive. That can be subjective, of course, but like the first thing is like picking like photos where like you look normal and decent, right? Like, the level of effort is just wild sometimes that I see, because it's like low effort. It's like if you just tried a little bit. So anyways, thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Maybe we'll do this again if you guys liked it, maybe not. It was a total fail, but it was fun for me, so thank you for hanging out. I'll see you guys next time.